All right, well, good afternoon. My name is Michael York, and my project today that I'm presenting to you is dealing with audio engineering and entrepreneurship and how I'm integrating these two fields of study into a business venture. So first and foremost, I'd like to thank my faculty advisors, Mr. Alan Wanneberger, Ms. Ellen Hemmerly, and Ms. Carrie Souter. I can honestly say that if it wasn't for them, I would not be anywhere close to where I'm at now. I started this project, I guess technically I started this project last year, but I've been working on this as a business venture for years. I mean, this is something that I've done for a long time, and with their guidance, it's all been able to be realized. It's been able to be something that I can actually take away and actually have something that is tangible. I know for a fact when I came to UMBC, Ms. Carrie Souter was my first advisor just out of the advising day, and just so happened she was in the INDS program. So everything worked out really well since then, so thank you for everything. I'd like to start by playing you guys a song that I had recorded, mixed, and mastered myself at my own facility. I'd like to start by saying that I love music. That's my whole life. And whereas most people, when they start school, they're kind of unsure what they want to do, or they have a clear vision, and it takes a few paths before they can really figure out what it is they want to do. I knew immediately when I was 10 years old exactly what I wanted to do and how I wanted to do it. So it's never been a question for me of what I wanted to do. But yeah, this picture here is also the studio that I worked at, where the song was recorded. I won't put it through the whole thing, but you get the idea. And another thing to note is it's generally when a musician goes to record at a studio, it's generally seen that you would record in one place, you would mix your music in another, you would master the music in another, mainly because of hardware differences, software differences, and acoustic treatment of those types of room, the differences in it. However, I was able to do this all in one location, which I'll get into later.
You got it all mapped out. You got confidence for yourself. Don't you fret, you're not alone.
So that's the basic idea. Yeah, so I recorded that in my facility, and kind of encompasses the entire idea of my capstone, which my main idea of my capstone was I was curious in what I needed to know in order to create a viable business plan for this production facility that I have been doing for years but wanted to expand upon it, and by doing so, looking at it from the perspective of audio engineering and entrepreneurship. The facility that I'm proposing in this business plan is a place that musicians can come to record, mix, master their music. Historians to archive material. That's a really big market that not many studios can do. It's generally taking, for example, a lot of our older materials that are stored within, like, say, the Smithsonian are archival tapes, like audio tapes, and generally those tapes degrade over time. If they aren't stored in a digital medium, these things that are part of our history are gone forever. There's something we can't retrieve. Therefore, being able to archive that material is extremely important for not just archiving purposes, but for historical purposes. Filmmakers, to be able to come in and edit and complete films, being able to have the right software and hardware for them to be able to complete those tasks as well. And any individual looking for audiovisual work, I'm confident that this facility would be able to provide them with a space as well as the hardware and software needed in order to complete that task for them. The plan is to be able to offer state-of-the-art equipment, things that can continually be refined to meet the demands of the industry at the time. as well as a knowledgeable staff. Although I'm the only one right now, I am confident to say that if the business grows, in which I hope, that I would be more than willing to hire a staff that is at the top of their game as best as we can get. So how did I do this? I used my research as taking several books on both fields of study that I looked at, such as entrepreneurship. I looked at several books on how to write a business plan properly, regardless of what the business is. Taking things such as your marketing strategy, cash flow, your expense reports, taking things, all of these aspects that go into a business plan, and being able to put them into something that's usable. And from there, I also use research on the audio engineering side, taking books that talk about acoustic treatment, the proper equipment needed for the proper tasks that you're, for what you plan on doing. And by doing so, I came out with a comprehensive business plan for the question that I had, which after reading through it and being able to continually be refining it, I feel very confident with the outcome that I have. And I can honestly say that if I hadn't done the business plan, I realized a lot of things while doing it that I thought were incredibly important for a business such as this. Now within the results, according to like the projected estimations that I put within my business plan, I see the business starting to turn a profit by year 4. I did a 5-year projection. Generally a 10-year projection is seen, but I did a 5-year projection based on the growth that my business has had since I started it, which was about 2.5 years ago. The past 2.5 years, my business grew between 4.5% and 6%. Therefore, I took the median of that, took about 5%, and I took that as my building block for the projection of each year. The 5-year projections went, as you can see, between expenses, taking all the expense reports from each year, and then coming up and seeing that year 4 is about where it starts turning profit. Now in year 5, as you see it drops, the drop in the profit is due to an estimated projection equipment maintenance. When you're doing something such as historical restorations and working with older media such as tape machines, vinyl, anything of those mediums, generally because of the equipment's nature, it tends to break down over time. And those pieces are extremely expensive to replace now because they aren't a normal piece of equipment to use anymore. Most of the time when you record music, when you're editing film, anything of that sort, it's digital. The bigger the better. We all know that everything that you see is in HD now. You have surround sound, that's where the market is. However, back from the 40s to the 60s, 70s, tape machines were what was used. That was how you recorded music. Vinyl was how you listened to albums. I still listen to albums on vinyl. They technically, to me, sound better. But I think that by using this equipment, it tends to degrade over time. Therefore, by the 5-year mark is generally when you have to replacing things such as pinch rollers on tape machines, when you start replacing certain needles inside of the mechanics of the equipment. So why is this an interdisciplinary project? I used the bridging strategies of built-in complex and multi-causal explanations, basically borrowing concepts from each perspective, and by doing so you create a more complex answer. You can look at this as just a business venture. You could look at this from an entrepreneurial field of study. However, you're going to miss out on the actual technical aspect that comes into the audio engineering side. You can start this business, of course, by just looking at it from a business standpoint, but if you don't know how to run a studio, it's not going to last very long. And vice versa. If you don't understand the business aspect and you only know the technical aspect, you're going to find that, as I found when I started doing a business plan, there's a lot of holes that you didn't realize that go into making a business. And on top of that, I also use Common Ground, redefining what it means to have a relationship with an engineer and a client. I truly do believe that the engineer and client relationship is by far the most important part of a business. Regardless what your business is, the relationship you have with your customer is the most important thing you have. And there's a lot of businesses that focus on having the best and the biggest and everything on the technical aspect, But when you break down the bare bones level, it's that relationship that you have that is the most important. I looked at these bridging strategies by using the two fields of study of entrepreneurship and audio engineering. So in conclusion, as I said, I mean, music's been my whole life. When I haven't been in school, I have something doing with music, and that's really no exaggeration. I work for a company where I build circuit boards for guitar amps, and that sounds incredibly boring to most people, but that's a haven for me. And then between that, I also I record. I use this facility that I've started that's just relocated to the house I moved into. I'm constantly recording music. I might get 5 to 6 hours of sleep a night, but I wouldn't have it any other way. That's something that I absolutely love doing, and thanks to being able to be in the INDS department, I've been able to create a career path that is something that I can honestly say I will be happy with for the rest of my life. So, thank you. Yes?
Let's talk about a popular topic, how artists make a living.
Okay.
All right?
I would love to hear that.
Looking at your financial projections, year 4 profit $1,596.
Right.
How do you make a living? Is your salary, like, we don't have the details on your
Yes.
spreadsheet. Does that include your salary
Yes,
as an engineer?
it does. The entire spreadsheet included what I would be being paid out as well.
Okay.
So that bottom line, that bottom debt, was after I was paid as well. After all expenses were met, after whatever income was taken, all of everything was taken into that net, that bottom total. So by year 4, if after I'm being paid out, the business starts making money, it's a big plus. That's the hope. Now, artists making money, that's another thing. I stay broke all the time, but that's the hope to change. That's the hope. Yeah.
With your research, what changes did you make in your business at home because you discovered something new in your research?
I think one of the biggest things was doing two things. A marketing strategy, being able to start using social networking, which everybody uses. Everybody has a Facebook, and everybody used to have a MySpace. Everybody, has a LinkedIn. Everybody has something like that. By utilizing the software, most of it is free. You can create a profile on Facebook for free. You can add 1,000 people, and then you post a status update on something. Those 1,000 people are going to see it.
So the literature is already telling you to do that?
Yes, I mean that's the trend that things are going in is trying to utilize this type of social networking as a part of your marketing skills.
They tell you how to do it?
Yeah, a really cool thing that happens within Facebook now is if you do start a business and do have a page as a business if you have a page based on your business, you can create something called AdSense where you create an ad and it will go through all the profiles of people that are within the entire network of these social networks, and anybody who states anything saying that, for example, if they say in their interest column they enjoy recording music, your ad goes on their page because of the keywords used on. So being able to utilize these type of social networking skills and being able to use these programs, you're able to open up a huge range. Well, creating a profile is free. Doing the marketing part is not.
Right.
It ends up being, it's a pay-per-click status. So you can choose per day how much you choose to spend. A large business with a huge capital, you could easily say, I would be more than happy to spend $2,000 a day on this if you had the budget. However, someone like me, I don't have $2,000 a day to spend on that. So basically, even if you put into your projected salary that you wanted to spend $1,000 a month, you could set it up to where you could do like a $20, per every other day, and every time that ad is clicked, it takes $1 out. So you have 20 times that somebody can click that ad. However, when it goes to that ad, it takes them to your website. It takes them to your actual client book. It takes you to all these things that do reach a far larger medium than was ever possible when this technology wasn't available. So.
Have you gotten any new clients that way?
Yeah, surprisingly, I've been busy, completely steady for the past about a year, which has been surprising. But when I started actually doing this as a business, I guess about 3 years ago, when I first started here and decided to try to really divulge out and do it, you know, I would get clients every once in a while, and things would slowly build off of that. But in the past year, I've been doing something every night of the week. I remember talking to Miss Hemmerly like before I left and telling her that I literally would be going to work at 9 in the morning until 4 in the afternoon, and I would record until 4 in the morning the following day. So it would be doing that for a few weeks on end. But to be honest, I too truly do believe that the best marketing you have is word of mouth. People who come to you and enjoy what you do and feel that you can have a really solid client to engineer relationship with somebody, that's the most important thing that you're going to be able to take away from somebody, because it's their experience that they have working with you and being able to get out a product that they visioned, and you're able to help them realize that vision, that end product is exactly what should be the result. Yes.
I don't know how relevant this is to your actual presentation, but I mean, just an aside, I have never met a young person who is as productive as Michael. I mean, really, and at his age, he's incredible. So it was really a pleasure to work with you.
I appreciate that.
It seems like already you're getting pulled in a couple of different directions. You've got this business that seems to be doing well, and you're also an artist. And what are your thoughts, and have they changed going through this process about how you're going to handle being pulled in those two different directions?
I think one of my favorite parts about the entrepreneurial side is I generally get to make my own schedule. And although that schedule can be incredibly daunting at times when I am home, it allows me to, for example, I've been in Europe for the past month on tour, and I got home 2 or 3 days ago. And I was able to do that because I had a chunk of business from February until late March. And then the people that I talked to, I told them I'd be gone for a month, but I'd be back in May. And then starting this weekend, it all starts again. And I don't have you know, much of the break after that, but I feel as though kind of comes to the realization that it's like I enjoy traveling, I enjoy seeing parts of the world that I've never seen, I enjoy all these things, but at the end of the day, I do still come home to bills. So I do enjoy being an artist, and I'll be an artist for as long as I can, and even after I can't travel or tour as much, I will still continue to be an artist. But I think the main goal, the main path is I love recording music way too much to not have it be like my one goal that I do every day. And if I'm not doing it for somebody, I do it on my own just to do it. And so I do think the relationship in my head has changed a little bit, but I just hope to be able to keep doing both as long as I can. So, yeah.
One of the things you didn't have up there was the legal dimensions.
Mm-hmm.
Do you foresee having to hire a lawyer ever? Protect your copyrights, or? I don't know.
Actually, on my end, the lawyer part wouldn't necessarily come into much of a play. I'm not working too much within the actual music industry of replication. Mm-hmm. If I was working in that end of like A&R departments and representative departments doing stuff like that, I definitely would. That's probably the heaviest part of the music industry, especially now because of people being able to pirate music so easily. I don't know many people. I can't tell you the last time I bought a CD, not because I download it, I buy vinyl instead. But you can stream music anywhere anymore. They have, when I was in Sweden like about a month ago, they have something there called darn, I can't remember what it's called. It's like Stream something, but you pay literally $5 a month, and you can type in an artist. It doesn't matter how big or small the artist is. They're on there, and you can stream every album they have for hourly, commercial free. It's radio that you can stream for free. It's like an iTunes that's completely free, basically.
But not download?
But not download. There's links within that you can purchase the artist material, which iTunes is shown to be like an incredibly profitable product. People who, especially the band Radiohead, they put up an album that they basically said, pay what you want. We don't care if you want to download for free, you can download for free. If you want to pay the $10, you can pay the $10. They made more money on that album than they've made on any other album. So I think it's just it's generally, I think that people's want to support the actual music industry, but yeah, to answer the question, I don't think that in my realm I'll need legal action unless something happens to where somebody, a miscommunication of sorts, where somebody isn't happy with the product, but I haven't run into that. I don't generally let a product go until a client's happy with it. So.
Anything else? All right, thank you very much, Michael.
Thank you.